Bodhicharya Kent is pleased to offer this two-part audio presentation recorded on the 27th of September 2017. Lama Karma Wangmo gave a public talk covering the topic of calming the mind to see reality clearly. This audio presentation contains meditation guidance and therefore should not be used whilst driving. Please find a quiet place, sit comfortably, clear your mind and enjoy the first part of the teachings.
Lama Wangmo has been close to the Dharma since the year 2000, when she first met His Holiness Karmapa, and she's one of the students of Tai Situpa Rinpoche, who's one of the Karmapa's heart sons, and she completed the 3-year, 3-month retreat with Rinpoche Rinpoche, who's the spiritual guide of this group and the Bodhicharya groups that you know of, in his retreat centre in Sikkim. It's the second time that she's come. The first time was a day retreat on the same topic, so this is kind of continuing that for those who were there, for those that weren't, introducing that topic to those people as well. So thank you all for turning that. Thank you, Lama Wangmo.
Thank you.
And we'll do the refuge first.
Okay. Chanchu bardu dani chasuji dagi jinso jipe sunamji rola panchir sanje droparishu sanje chedan sochi chanamla chanchu bardu dani chasuji dagi jinso jipe sunamji Drola Panchir Sanje Druparisho Sanje Chedan Sochi Chonamla Chanchu Bardu Dani Chasuchi Dagi Jinso Jipe Sanamchi Drola Panchir Sanje Druparisho. Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. Through the merits of my generosity and other virtues, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all beings. Beings have happiness and its causes. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be separated from the supreme joy, untouched by suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Okay. Good evening, everybody. And I think we will start with a short meditation, 5 minutes meditation, and then we will talk about it. Okay. I'm very happy to be here in Kent again. This is the third time actually, because the first time I came for the launch, the official launch of Bodhicharya Kent group, and then I came twice after that. I mean, now is the third time. And the meditation timer is a transmission from Rinpoche Rinpoche, so I'm not being weird. Now when Rinpoche came to our center, all the meditations he did by performing the meditation timer app. And today we'll be talking about meditation mainly, and we'll be practicing together also. And as Cesare already mentioned, we will kind of continue our discussion from last time when we did a day retreat on Shamatha or Shinè meditation practice. And we will elaborate on that a little bit. So, when we talk about meditation in Buddhism, there are many different methods to practice meditation. And one of the meditation methods, which comes from the lineage of our teachers, of His Holiness the Karmapa and Rinpoche Tulku Rinpoche, is the Mahamudra meditation. And many of you have heard about it already. And for those of you who are new to it, I will just give a short introduction of what this meditation is about. And Mahamudra meditation consists of two main sections of meditation. One is called the Shinè, or Shinè is the Tibetan word, Shamatha is the Sanskrit word, and Karma abiding is the English translation. And the other section is called Laktong in Tibetan, or Vipassana in Sanskrit, and is usually translated as superior insight or insight meditation. So Shinè is the Karma abiding meditation, and Laktong is the insight meditation. So what we're doing is, first we are learning how to calm our mind, and then we are learning how to look at this mind. We're learning to have insight into our mind. And by doing this, we slowly come to recognize what our mind is and what is the nature of our mind. And for that, the Shinè meditation is extremely important, because if we don't know how to calm the mind down, there's no way we can see anything. Because usually our mind is not really calm. We are more used to have it full of thoughts and emotions, and we're used to keeping ourselves busy, and we find it a little bit difficult to find time and space to calm the mind down and to really see what our mind is, how it works, what is actually the power of our mind has if we let it function in its natural way. And when we talk about Shinè, the word Shi means peace, and Ne means to remain or to abide in peace. So remaining in peace or abiding in peace. And what is peace? What do we need peace from? We need peace from our thoughts and emotions, which don't let us relax. They don't let us remain in peace. So by learning to meditate, we learn how to find peace from our thoughts and emotions, how to pacify our thoughts and our negative emotions. And so the first thing we learn in the Shinè meditation is how to achieve peace of mind, how to calm the mind down. And then when we progress in that meditation, we are also learning how to maintain this peaceful state of mind in all kinds of situations. First, we do it in formal practice, and then we transfer or integrate this into our life, into any situation of our life. And once we learn how to achieve a peaceful state of mind, then on top of that, we do the insight meditation, the Laktong meditation, which is observing and looking into this peaceful mind, looking into the depths of our mind, learning to recognize our mind, learning to see our mind. We're looking at the essence of mind. And there are also, when we talk about the Shinè meditation, there are temporary benefits and ultimate benefits of this meditation. When we talk about the temporary benefits, is that we will be able to be more relaxed, more happy, more joyful in our life, and we'll be able to handle the difficult situations in our life with more easily, with joy, and by making the best out of them. And we will learn to live in a more positive way. If our mind is at peace, then we have the choice to see whether we react in a positive way or a negative way. If our mind is not at peace, usually we don't have this choice. We don't have this space in which we can choose what to do and how to act and how to react. And so that is the temporary benefit of this practice, which is very easily achievable for all of us. And then when we talk about the ultimate benefit is that eventually we'll recognize and realize the nature of our mind. And that means complete freedom and liberation. That's a little bit far away, so we don't need to worry about that right now, I think. But I think it's good to know where we're going and what we're looking for. So I think the best way to do it this evening is to talk about meditation a little bit, to practice together, and then to have some discussion after also, because I think it's more useful if we discuss things that are relevant for everybody, rather than me just talking and maybe not being relevant or not being interesting or whatever. So I think we will do some practice together, and then we will discuss about the practice, about how it works, about our experiences. And we will first practice the Shinè meditation and have a discussion about that. And after that, we will do a short introduction to the Laktong or insight meditation as well, and practice that together, and finish with a short discussion on that. So I was kind of thinking to do this. And when we talk about the Shinè meditation, the intellectual understanding of the meditation is very simple. It's very common sense. All of us can understand. But intellectual understanding is not enough. Our understanding has to go deeper. It has to become an experience. And it can become an experience only through practice, only through sitting down and actually doing it, and actually letting our understanding of the practice become part of us, that we learn how to use it and how to practice it. And then experience will slowly lead to realization. So it's also important to understand, because Shinè meditation is very simple. What we're doing is we're just practicing some methods to calm our mind down. And so we have to know that it has to become an experience, and that experience will also lead to realization. So there are various steps in this practice. And so then the question comes, why are we actually meditating? Why did we all gather here, and why did we sit down, and why are we trying to think about meditation, why we are trying to practice together? Is it even possible to be at peace? What are we looking for? So I think this is very important to think about in the beginning, because we are all looking for happiness, but then we found out that it's not so easy to find happiness. And even when we think we found it, it's very it's very difficult to hold on to it. So it's not really happiness. It doesn't stay. So is it actually possible to find happiness, or are we just running after something which is impossible? So this is very important to understand when we do meditation. What are we looking for, and what is the basis of us being able to meditate? And what is actually happiness? What are we looking for? And actually, Rinpoche usually gives the definition of happiness by saying that, by quoting Yoda. That's what he did also now at our center when he gave the teachings. And actually, the quote is quite long, but actually he says that happiness is freedom. So we're all kind of looking for freedom in one way or another. And we're looking for peace, and we're looking for joy. And so the question is this achievable? Is this something that we can achieve or not? And then we come to the main point of the Buddha's teachings, is that it is very much possible, because our essence, our very nature is like that. Our very nature is peaceful and joyful. And another word we have for that is the Buddha nature. And this is one of the main teachings of the Buddha, that all beings have Buddha nature. The nature of all beings, the essence of all beings is good and positive and joyful. And that's why we're all looking for happiness. So once we understand that, then we know that by doing meditation, we're not looking for something from outside. We're not trying to get something from somebody, or we're not trying to learn some exotic method which will bring us some result which comes from Asia, and we'll bring it into our heart, and then we will be really happy. We're not doing that, actually. We're just trying to discover what we already have, the essence of what we already are. And that is really one of the most important Buddhist teachings. And Buddha also taught that everybody can become like him. The Buddha achieved something. He found freedom, and he said anybody who wants to can achieve the same. And he did not stop there. He did not stop at saying that. He also showed the path through which all of us can achieve exactly the same thing as the Buddha has achieved, exactly the same freedom and liberation that the Buddha has achieved. And I think this is very important to know, because then our meditation will work much better. If we know that we're just trying to reveal something that we already have, which is now covered with all kinds of things, so we're just trying to reveal that. And what is it covered with? It is covered with all our thoughts and emotions and concepts and ideas and habits and all of these things which don't allow our essence to function, which don't allow our nature, our positive and joyful nature to come out. So that's why, and how we can do that? We can do that through meditation. And that's why meditation is important, because we cannot think our way out of thoughts. We cannot do it by reading books, we cannot do it by thinking, we only have to just to sit down and to allow our Buddha nature to come out and to function. Which is easier said than done, but but it's far from impossible. So I think what we will do now, we will do a short Shamatha meditation, Shinè meditation, and then we will see how it goes. And usually the basic instructions for Shinè meditation are concerned first with the body and then with the mind. Kumanga, can I get some water? Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Okay. And you've all been practicing Shamatha before, I think, because you have your weekly meetings in your group, right? Every week you meet and you do practice together and you talk about it, so most of you know what the meditation is about. So that's why I will not go into too much detail. I will give just very simple instructions and then we will do it together. Have all of you been going to the group meetings? To the group practices? Okay. Okay, good to know. Yes, so when we talk about calming the mind, we talk about two things. First, we talk about the body, and then we talk about the mind. Because in order to calm the mind, we need to calm our body first. And we need to bring our body into the posture which will be conducive to meditation. And if we simplify the instructions on the body posture, we come to 2 points, only 2 points, so it's easy to remember. First one is to be straight, to sit straight, which means that we keep our spine straight. And straight means straight, but not straight as, we don't need to be too tight about it, so we just sit straight. So that's why usually it's better not to lean back, because then we're not really sitting straight. So we sit straight, and then the second point is to be relaxed. Because if our body is not relaxed, our mind will never relax. So we have to find a posture which is relaxed, and we're sitting straight in order to stay focused. Because if we're not sitting straight, then it's very easy for our mind to get sleepy and dull and like that. So we just sit straight, and then we relax into that. And the reason why we keep the body posture like that is because getting distracted, or distractions or thoughts are the biggest obstacles to our meditation. And what our body posture does is it makes thoughts and emotions naturally pacify. Because when we sit straight, then all the channels in our body are straight, all the energy channels are straight, and all the energies which are moving in the channels will flow in a more balanced way, and this will make naturally our thoughts and emotions also, will naturally pacify the thoughts and emotions, because our thoughts and emotions are very much connected to the body also. They don't come only from the mind. They're connected to the state of our body, they're connected to the movement of energies in our body. So if we balance the movement of energies in our body, then naturally our thoughts and emotions will be also pacified. This is even said sometimes in the teachings. There was some teaching, I think during the Buddha's time, some monks were living in the forest and they were sitting under the trees and meditating. And they said that some monkeys were watching them and they were imitating just the posture. They didn't know anything about meditation or anything. And it is said that because of the blessing of the Buddha, even those monkeys attained liberation just by sitting in the right posture. So that's how important it is. So once we have taken care of the body, then we have to think about our mind and what our mind is doing and where our mind is. Is it actually in this room, or is it everywhere, all over the world, or all over all over the city, or doing, I don't know, in the Thai restaurant? So when we begin our meditation, first thing we do, we bring our mind into our body, which is very important because it brings our mind into the present moment. And that is the only moment where we can meditate, actually. We cannot meditate in the past, we cannot meditate in the future, we cannot meditate in being in the Thai restaurant now. We have to bring our mind into the body, into the present moment. And just remain in this present moment with kind of awareness and clarity. And it is very important when we notice that our mind wanders to the thoughts of the past and to the thoughts of the future, we just gently bring it back. to the present moment. We don't need to put any effort. We just, whenever we notice that we're distracted, we just bring the mind back. And we don't need to blame ourselves for thinking of other things or get frustrated with it. Just every time we notice it, we gently bring the mind back. Because one thing that we're doing through meditation is we're trying to make friends with ourselves. So that means that we have to create a space where we feel comfortable. And we can feel comfortable only if we're gentle to ourselves. Whenever we get distracted, we just bring the mind back and continue our meditation. And we're happy for every moment of being in the present that we have, instead of being frustrated of all the moments that we're distracted. So that is one very important point in the meditation. Because very often it happens that we just get frustrated and we think that we're not able to meditate because we are distracted 90% of the time when we sit down and do our meditation. But actually the thing is that maybe we're focused for 10% of the time, and that's great. That's wonderful. And we have to be really happy about it. And that's how our meditation will progress. By making friends with ourselves, by being gentle with ourselves, and by being happy with any moment of good meditation that we do. So that is extremely important. Because another thing is, if we find out that we're not relaxed, we cannot relax by forcing ourselves to relax. If I find out that I'm thinking about all kinds of things and I say, no, I have to relax now. Relax, okay. Relax. I really have to relax. Okay, I'm not relaxed again. So it doesn't really work like that. We just have to just not think about it at all and just bring the mind in the present moment and just be there. Not worry about it and not do anything by force. Because also what it says is many times it compares our mind to water. And in the meditation instructions, it says, when the mind is not altered, it is clear. When the water is not disturbed, it is transparent. So it is comparing our mind to, if we take a glass of water from a river, from a very wild river, it will be full of mud and sand and everything, and it will be gray and it will look dirty. So what should we do if we want to purify that water? We cannot take the sand out, we cannot do anything. We just have to put it there and leave it there. And after some time, then the sand and all the dirt and everything will just naturally go to the bottom of the glass, and the water will become transparent and clear. Because the nature of water is to be transparent and clear. And it's exactly the same with our mind. Our mind right now is full of everything, full of thoughts and emotions and things carrying us here and there. So how do we find clarity in our mind? Just by letting it be, by not disturbing it, by not stirring it further. So we just let it be and we just let it rest, and then all the thoughts and emotions will naturally subside, and our mind, the real nature, the clarity of our mind will come out. And that's the essence of meditation. And that is something which you cannot do by force, or you cannot do with frustration and with tension and everything. With any kind of methods like this, you can only do it by being gentle, by being relaxed, and by just letting things be. And then, because the nature of mind is also clear, just like water. The nature of water is clear, and the nature of mind is clear. So, because the nature of mind is clear, we don't need to create the clarity. We don't need to force the clarity. We don't need to bring it from outside. We just need to let it be, and the clarity will come out by itself. So, that is what we have to do with our mind, which also sounds easy. And now just the actual meditation instructions. When we practice at home, we can use anything as the support of our meditation. We can use any visual form or sound or anything. Or we can use our breath, which is something that we always have. It's always with us. and it's always in the present moment. And it's very helpful for bringing our mind into the present moment. So breathing meditation is one of the most basic, but at the same time most profound Buddhist meditations. And how we do that? We just breathe very gently. We breathe out slowly and gently, and then usually we make a short pause right before we breathe in. We don't block our breath or anything, we just breathe out, make a short pause, breathe in, make a short pause, and then breathe out again. And we just observe this flow of the breath. And we don't need to forcefully make it slower or anything, because when our mind calms down, then the breath will also naturally become slower and calm down as well. And so what we will do, maybe 20 minutes of meditation, if it's not too long for you. And what we will do is we will alternate between focusing on the breath, between following the breath and observing the breath. And then after a few minutes, we will let go of the support of the breathing. And we will just observe the calm abiding state of mind that we have achieved through breathing, through focusing on the breathing. Because focusing on the breathing will naturally calm our mind down. And once our mind is calm, we don't need the support of the breathing anymore. So we just maintain this calm abiding state of mind until, again, some thoughts arise or something happens, and then we go back to the breathing for a few minutes. And then after a few minutes, again, we let go of the support of the breathing, and we just maintain the calm abiding state of mind, which is for a few seconds usually, because the thoughts are very, very easily, they're always ready to come back. And everybody will alternate this. We will do this at our own rhythm. I think it's better that we just do 20 minutes of meditation without talking, and everybody just observes their own meditation, and then let's go of the support at the time when it feels right. So it would usually be a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes of observing the breath, and then a few seconds of maintaining the calm abiding state of mind, and then again a few minutes of observing the breath. So, is it clear? Okay, then we will just do the practice. Okay. How was it? Long or short? Long? Any comments, any experiences, anything you would like to share? Or questions or anything?
I find it useful to come back to the breath, something kind of solid and tangible, and you notice your mind has been wandering, and it's easy to come back and hold on to that and calm yourself down again.
Yeah.
It's useful because my mind was wandering quite a bit.
That's why it's called a support. We use it as a support for keeping our mind here and now, keeping our mind on keeping our mind in the present also. But otherwise, our mind is likes very much to wander. And one thing is also they often say that it's not good to try to block the thoughts. When we have the thoughts, just let them go, because the thoughts really come out of nothing and they just go back into nothing. So if we leave them alone, then they will not disturb us. So sometimes even they say that it's not the fault of the thoughts that we get disturbed, it's our fault. So sometimes they say, don't blame these poor thoughts, it's not their fault.
How do you leave them alone, the thoughts?
Sorry, how do you?
How do you just leave them alone?
It just means you don't react to them, you don't follow them. Because usually what happens is that a thought comes up and we become interested in it. We think it is something we need to take notice of, it's something we need to follow. So we kind of engage in the thought. But if we just let the thought come and don't engage in it and let it go, it will disappear. It will lead to the next thought only if we follow it. Because also before it came up, where was it? It actually comes pretty much out of nothing. It comes out of the mind and it goes back, it dissolves back into the mind.
I'm finding quite recently that there's always an inner commentary going on. So I'll be like, oh, I'm thinking, oh, need to just let those be and come back to the breath. Oh, I'm thinking about what I should be doing. And then, but it is, I'm actually hearing the words, I'm actually speaking to myself.
Yes.
And thinking, oh, you got swept up there, and then come back to your breath. And then I'm aware that it's me talking to myself. I'm thinking, that's another thought. But that's happening a lot recently.
Yeah.
Like I'm reminding myself what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and I'm not sure if that's helpful or not.
Well, actually, there's two things. There's unnecessary thoughts and necessary thoughts.
Yeah.
And when we're doing meditation, kind of focusing on the breath is a necessary thought. Noticing that we're distracted is a necessary thought. So those don't really count as distractions, actually, unless they get too much. But it's in the beginning, that's maybe the best way to do it, just to talk to ourselves mentally, because then we notice, okay, I'm distracted, I just have to come back and let it be there, and then again and again. And then slowly, you might not need to do that anymore. It will become more natural. It will not need to be conceptual. The mind will become used to bring itself back to the present without saying, I need to get back to the present. But at the moment, I think they're necessary thoughts. So nothing wrong. And you're noticing it because your mind is becoming more clear by meditation. Before you probably would not even notice that you're being distracted. So now you're noticing, so it is a good sign. How long are your sessions usually, meditation sessions, at your weekly meetings?
About 15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes.
We usually a bit more kind of guidance.
Okay.
You know, so I'm the voice in the head.
Good.
Part 2 of this teaching is available now from the Bodhicharya Kent YouTube channel. This has been a Bodhicharya Kent audio production.